Welcome to Mastering the Math of Business with Lauren Young. Today we're going to be discussing cash quality. Cash quality is reflected in gross profits, and it is a key indicator of how well a business is managed. So it's pretty safe to assume, in other words, you can conclude without reservation, a business that generates more or higher cash quality is a business that has a solid management team and there's not a lot of stress and anxiety in that business. In other words, they know what they're doing and they're getting it done. A business that has poor cash quality is always a business that's struggling. And the reason why it's struggling is because they've got too much tied up in direct costs to generate $1 of sales. In other words, the way to think about it is this way. If you're generating $1 in sales, how much are you making in addition to that dollar? In other words, what's your margin, your gross profit margin? A business that's down in this area, a business that is making less than $1 in gross profit, is a business that's in serious trouble. A business that's earning north of $1, significantly north of $1, is a business that has room. They have gross margin off their sales that will allow them to pay their overhead costs at a profit. A business that is trading 4 quarters for $1 at best is a break-even business. Nobody wants to be there. So let's look at a scenario. This scenario involves a business that is wanting to go from 10 million in sales to 10.5 million. They're looking to grow 5%. But the real stretch in this business is cash quality at 25% of sales is not sufficient to generate the returns that ownership wants. So they want to improve that by 7%. They want to go to 32% of sales. In other words, for every $1 they sell, they want to make an extra 32 cents. So that means they've got $1.32 coming in when they sell $1. That's good cash quality, and that's the goal. So realizing the sales goal of 10.5 million is important, but more important is realizing the gross profit goal, which is 32% of sales. So here let's look at the math inputs to have a good sense of what your cash quality is. All you need to know is your net sales and your gross profit, and you need to know it for 2 periods of time to see the movement. The one I like to look at is actual to plan. Some people like to look at previous year, and that works if your business is highly consistent year over year. But what's better is to know what you're working towards, and that's the power of a profit plan. So with that, the math is quite simple. You're simply dividing your gross profit by your net sales. And in this case, you're going to subtract the plan amount from the previous year amount, and that's the improvement. So you've got to find a 7% improvement. Put another way, you can't spend 75 cents of every $1 in direct costs. This year, you're going to have to do 68 cents so that you can pick up that extra 7%. That's a business that's focused on improving their cash quality. So with that, let's look at what happens if this doesn't occur. Let's say they don't hit their 7% cash quality goal and they come in at 3% less. That's a $315,000 reduction in cash quality. That means there's that much less money that's coming into the business to cover overhead expenses and to generate a profit. It's hard to reduce overhead by $315,000. This is why cash quality is an important math equation to be able to stay on top of. In other words, what you're really doing is you're calculating your gross margin. So with that, let's look at the call to action associated with this video. And it really is about making things as black and white as you can in your business. Black and white is knowing where you are with your gross margin and where you want to be. And the performance against where you are versus where you want to be, that's a black and white equation. You're either doing better than you planned or you're doing worse than you planned, black and white. Businesses that struggle are businesses that get distracted by shades of gray. In other words, they don't know what they're working towards, and so things start to muddle up because it's not black and white. Things aren't as clear as they should be. So one option for you to improve this scenario is to visit businesscpr.com. That's business-cpr.com, where you can access an easy read on the math of business, particularly both profit math and cash math, and you can pick up some easy-to-use formulas to make life better. So with that, let me take you to this visual again. Nobody wants to be a business down in here. And if you're a business down in here, it's really time to consider what can you do differently to take the stress out of your life. That's the purpose of these videos, is to help identify simple things that you can employ today to produce better results tomorrow. As with all videos, likes are appreciated. Comments, questions, suggestions for another topic. If you want to see how the math works out on any business topic, put it in the comments section and I'll get back to you with the video explaining the math. And lastly, subscriptions. Subscriptions will keep you up to date and aware of our latest and greatest submissions in Mastering the Math of Business. Thanks for tuning in. Goodbye.